Hi, I'm Katie Kempner, and welcome to Perspectives here at Advertising Week Europe. Perspectives is a series of inspiring conversations with remarkable working women who are leading busy and successful lives. And we've been doing them for the last couple days, and perhaps it's not a coincidence, but my last one is one of my most popular and frequent guests, Pippa Glucklich, who stepped down last year as CEO of Starcom MediaVest and has something new and very exciting on the horizon, which she can't talk about right now, but is also vice president of WACL and on the board of...
I'm a trustee of our industry charity, NAPS.
Which is why you were here doing it. So welcome.
Thank you. It's lovely to see you again, Katie.
It's lovely to see you too. And I think, we in the past, I was looking back at some of the things we've talked about. We went over a range of different things, but I'd love to talk this time, if you're comfortable with it, more on the personal side, because you've had a very interesting journey, and it says a lot personally, but also about how women are able to structure their careers through different parts of their lives and different things that happen. Mm-hmm. So you had this huge job for a long time, beloved in the industry. Just last night, you won a big award at Cosmopolitan.
I did.
What was that award, by the way?
Well, it was. I was honoured, very, very humbled and privileged to be honoured by Cosmopolitan and Adweek celebrate female talent, and they nominate 3 women from the industry. So there was Lisa from Ford, Varitza from PhD, and myself for kind of, I guess, services to the industry, and particularly around women and role modelling. And then the past 3 winners from last year nominates a younger woman in their organisation and celebrate them. So I'll be doing that next year. So it's
that'd be nice.
It's a really nice about paying forward and inspiring talent, and it was a really lovely event, I have to say. So I'm very grateful.
Well, you've been a role model to women in business in so many different ways for a really long time. I think perhaps with this latest thing, it may have made you the biggest role model of all. Could you talk a little bit about what you've been going through for the last year and what you're up to?
Yeah. So, my life took a kind of shocking and tragic turn a year and a half ago when my husband, Michael, we've been married for 21 years, died very unexpectedly, and he took his own life completely out of the blue. And so, as you can imagine, it was like having a bomb go off in my life and my children's life. In fact, everybody, our friends, our family. Excuse me. So I had some time off work, and then I went back last year, which was good. Work is a really good distraction. Stockholm were brilliant. They really looked after me. But it was hard, I think what's happened with Michael has really, really made me reprioritise, and I've learned in spades that life is short, and we all know that, and we all say that, but it's come up and smacked me right in the face. And I found that when I was back at work trying to be Pippa CEO and, Pippa Superwoman with very little backup at home, never mind dealing with my loss and my children's loss, that actually I just got to a point where I was really struggling to cope with everything. And I decided to take some time out, which is not something I've ever done in my life, in my career. I've always been very driven and always thought, what's the next thing I'm going to do? But to pause, actually, in my life, and I was fortunate that I was able to take a bit of time to do that. But what it's really helped me think about before I take up my next challenge in a couple of months is, how can I pause in my daily life? How can I pause on a more regular basis to stop and reflect? Because I think I was often just busy running, like women often are, people often are, but women particularly, juggling, multitasking, not thinking really about how I was feeling, what impact I was having, whether it really rang true for me as an individual. So that's kind of what I've been doing at the moment. I've been travelling quite a lot as well. I've found travel a good way to remind me that there's a lot of good things and good people in the world, when in my darkest times I found that really hard to see that. Yeah. And I've been doing quite a lot of work, as I said earlier, or you said earlier, I'm a trustee of NAPS, our industry charity, and I've been proudly involved with them for 12 years and a trustee for about 6, I think, really, they're doing some great work in our industry around well-being, resilience. They've got some fantastic masterclasses and programs, really to help our industry look after its people and the working environment of the companies. And really, I've probably said this to you in one of our interviews before, people is our only asset that we have in our industry. We don't make anything, we don't produce any widgets, we don't manufacture anything. It's just people and their ideas. And if we don't look after that, then we're in trouble. And NABS is really here in London and actually in the UK, really supporting our industry in that journey.
Well, first of all, I mean, obviously, I'm so sorry to hear about your loss, and obviously, it's overwhelming to hear that after knowing you for many years. But I really think what a beautiful thing to come out of it in the sense of the pausing, and you can really, because you're such a well-known figure in this industry, you can really help share that because. You see that all the time. I mean, you see it everywhere. People aren't even paying attention to each other anymore. I was just walking around. Everybody, and this isn't news, somebody bumped into me. They're on their phone. Nobody's paying attention to each other. And you're losing a lot, I think. Losing a lot of the personal connection. So to pause in your life every day is a great way. Are there certain ways you think? Kathleen Saxton was here and she's talking about the importance of meditation.
Yeah.
Are there certain things that you found or beginning to find ways to do that?
Yeah, definitely. So I recently, last month, I went to Thailand to a retreat. That's one of the things I wanted to do in my time off. Just to, that was a big pause. And that was quite a big deal because it meant leaving my kids for a week, which was hard, but they were very supportive. So, yes, I started to learn about meditation and mindfulness. I'm not very good, if I'm honest. It really does take practice. It's one of those things that you think, I can sit still for 10 minutes a day, but actually it really does take training. So I'm working on that, trying to find some time every day, which is obviously easier at the moment because when I'm not working. I'm trying to not be so hard on myself, as I think we all are, but women particularly. We beat ourselves up. I've had some psychometric profiling, which has really reminded me of my strengths. And I think one of the things I've been really guilty of is whenever I've had any of those things done in the past, I've always looked at things that were areas for improvement and really focused on those. Those are the things I'm not quite so good at this. How can I get better at this? And actually one of the things I'm trying to learn is that really celebrate your strengths and be unapologetically you. So you are what you are, and actually if you really excel at your strengths, then that can make the difference. And trying to overcompensate for stuff you're not naturally that good at is not going to get you anywhere. It's going to actually hold you back. So I'm definitely learning. I'm thinking about how I approach my next role. I'm thinking about how I build a culture and a team, how I lead from the front, how I don't do what I did last time, which is, work all hours, and that seemed to be what people thought was expected, even though I didn't expect it of them. So I'm kind of trying. It's not easy, but I'm trying, and I'm really advocating to people to just try and do a bit of the same and just take a pause, whether it's 2 minutes or 20 minutes, whatever you can do, and talk openly. One of the things, as women, we're talkers, which is great, but I know from my husband, he didn't talk about stuff, and I have 2 sons and they're not really talking, and I'm really encouraging them to, but actually to talk and to share and to offload and to de-stress, not just in your mind but in your body as well. So be that through exercise. So one of the things I was recommended to do in Thailand is to start boxing. Apparently very good for letting out anger and frustration, and also it's quite strategic, so you have to really focus, and it switches your mind off, because you can't kind of, like when you're running, you can think about stuff, because you have to focus on where your next move is. So I'm going to, this time next year, I'll let you know how I'm getting on with that.
Okay, good. Maybe I'll start boxing too. I like that idea. That all sounds amazing and so smart, and congratulations on doing all of that. And I have to ask you, I ask you this every year, and I was listening to the advice from the last couple of years, but If there's one piece of advice now that is guiding you through your life that you can share with us, what is that?
I think it's what I just said, actually, which is be unapologetically you and just really try and celebrate what you're good at. Don't be hard on yourself. Recognise what your strengths are and celebrate them and yourself. So, and I haven't been good at that in the past, and I've had a lot to deal with in the last 18 months, but I'm trying to look forward with positivity and think, how can I make a difference to the organisation I'm joining, but also to my family's life and so on. So yeah, just be who you are, know who you are, spend time getting to know yourself, and that's what I've been doing. And it makes for quite uncomfortable feelings at times, but actually I feel a lot better for it.
Well, it was lovely talking with you. Thank you
Likewise.
For your honesty. And
thank you.
Good luck on your new gig. I can't wait to hear about it next year.
Thank you very much, and good luck to you too.
And thank you very much for joining us this Advertising Week Europe at Perspectives. Thanks.